Hi there, YouTube. Hi there, YouTube. Slight delay. Okay. So how's it going? I haven't posted a video in a while. Mostly because I've been busy with work. And then I was on vacation last weekend. So, and really, I've been totally abandoned what I was doing with this YouTube channel and my own personal stuff, but at the moment, I'm doing this full-time work as an animation designer, I've mentioned before, and that tends to keep me a tad occupied. With that in mind, I believe, yeah, there we go. Hi there! I have my Twitter page up here for you to see, and this isn't what I'm currently working on. I'm on a new show now that I cannot talk about. But the last show that I was the senior props designer. So I started in pre-production on season 5 of FS for Family, doing all the initial props, and then when production kicked in, I became the supervisor and lead prop designer. And then I also took over supervising characters and special effects a little bit. Hopefully, I left it all in good shape. The way the production was run was a novel thing for me. Before I'd done FS for Family, the last time I'd been working in animation was like 20 years before at Nelvana, working on old school on paper. So this was my inauguration into an all-digital work stream. It was pretty straightforward because I was working mainly in Clip Studio and Photoshop, but I did learn how to use Harmony a bit for cleanups and poked around in rigging. I didn't master that or anything, but I understood how it worked, and setting up layers for animation and stuff, and doing cleanups. But most of my work as a designer was done in Photoshop, and then I looked at the cleanup artists' work when they would convert our works into Harmony. Toon Boom Harmony. It's an animation program. It sort of dominates the industry right now too. So if you work in the business, you probably know it. That first show, F is for Family, they're just starting to leak images. So you can see here the group, the writers' room, started posting some previews, and my work's in almost all of them. So that banner, Alderman Chauncey Roosevelt, I did that, and of course I had to tell the character designers to do the special views and things of the characters. I think we had these on file already, but yeah. And then the actor playing this Smokey character here, he passed. None of this is mine. I did do a phone, but I didn't do this one. But then that baby carriage, that's all me. I did that. The version that Vic's kid is in ultimately has flames on it, like a hot rod too. And then this one, pretty banal stuff, but her change purse, the change in the woman's hands, and the bag of cat tuna cans. Because, the little sexy life of a prop designer on commercial TV. You know? It's like that kind of thing. Let's turn the background music down a little bit. And then they posted some color images, and this one, I believe, I clicked on the right one, there we go. That magazine, that's my design. It's Insanity Today. It was fun design. It's a little squashed here. I made it as a wider book, but this I do probably wanted to fit within the characters' confines. They squished it a little bit. But it still holds up, I think. It's a funny guy in a Napoleon hat with a rat in his shirt. And then there's a sexy modern style of chair and stuff. It's like a commercial for buying furniture for a therapist's office. Listen in style, it says. I came up with that. Yeah. So I posted these things. I got some, I believe this one. Yeah. The writer's room. Excellent job on the cover. They liked it. Got a fair bit of little attention on the Twitter. So yeah, I can get to show a little of that off now because they're starting to show it off. The show's coming at some point soon, this fall, over the winter, something like that. I'm not sure the exact date. I listened to Bill talk in an interview about this on one of the late night shows, and he seems to say the same thing. Like Netflix sort of keeps them in the dark. They don't know exactly when it's launching specifically. They have their magic algorithm. But that's the last thing I did. That was one of the reasons why I've declined in my activity here on the YouTubes. Yeah, you know, you guys are fun, but it doesn't pay. Sorry. It's just not, they didn't get enough patrons and things like that. I do have my Patreon still. If you look in the description text, there's a Patreon. You can click on that and see what work I've been posting recently. And a lot of stuff is available to the public. And you can still pledge and join and get access to my library of books. But I'm only collecting, like, I wouldn't collect anything, but the way it works, I have it set up, you get charged on the first pledge. And then I'm not collecting monthly right now because I do have the full-time day job. I don't really need it, so I feel uncomfortable with that. Plus, I'm also not producing as often, so it just was it felt bad mojo to keep collecting money on Patreon right now. So it's sort of on hibernation. You'll pay once if you join now, and you'll be able to read my comics. The digital versions are up there, and it basically is my blog, so you'll have access to all my private and public blog posts. And but yeah, not doing as much. I am doing stuff though. So I've shown you guys this before. This is Mind Engine work in process. This is like a folder in Google Photos of all the work that's done so far that goes going into the book. And I'm pretty happy with how it's shaping up. I've started going in and redrawing some things on one story, and today I was writing for that story. So, whoops, did I skip past it? I did. Here we go. So like I redrew parts of this page, mainly his face. And I redid the sound effect lettering, and I think I visited this one a little bit, and just sort of looking back and stuff I did a year or two ago, cleaning it up. And I was writing past this scene. This is so far as far as this story goes. I'm gonna go back, probably work on Henry some more. But I was writing this afternoon and thinking about projects. So that's what I thought I would do. I'm going to work some more, and I thought I would turn on the cameras again. This is actually work on another story in there. Excuse me. Not the last page, but working on one of the second last page, refining my pencils and doing some build-up gesture work of this. Let me move my chat over here so I can see if anyone says hello. Let me just see. I'm curious. Let me turn off the mic so we don't get feedback. Let me just see. I was checking the play volume of my music and my background, my mic. I'm gonna leave that running. Audio is mostly stuff now that I've mixed myself, goofing around on a little Arturia keyboard and program. Pretty cool, actually. I enjoy doing that. So this is very gestural, loose, kind of scribbly stuff, but these are all going to be plant-like, flower-like, weird things I need to figure out. I've been scribbling them out now as more or less a floral thing, but I want it to be like this unreal, almost unearthly plant animal thing. And then I don't want that skull to be too obvious, but I do want it to be there as a graphic callback to the first page in the story. So I'm just figuring out how to lace that in, kind of shapes I'll use. You can sort of see through what's the eye socket here to the guy down on the ground who's exploding with plants coming out of him. So that's my evening's work. Let's see. Did I have anything on that layer yet? No, I started it, but I didn't draw anything. So I'll do that here. Oh my. I feel like I just want to start building up more. Fatter. Oh yeah, I can use the brush thing. That's what would be better. There we go. Scribblies. So when I say I'm doing sort of gestural work, that's what I mean. I'm not trying to be super structural in this phase. I want the line to be very expressive and loose. And scribblies. Oops. So I turn the sound on by accident. Yeah. Now that I have that, ooh. Before I get too into this, I want to go and set my line values. So, what will be my benchmark page? I quite like that first one. Second one, actually. This is the second page in the story. And yeah, actually, that's pretty close, isn't it? I could go a little bit fatter. 25. So 25 is my upper limit. What I was doing basically is just sort of setting the scale for my line weights, how fat a brush I would use, so that the pages don't feel too... One of the risks I find with digital work is that it's harder to judge line values from page to page without having some parameters run as a guide. I can just make out from my headphones the music you guys are hearing. This piece is was working with a couple of browser-based sequencing programs, messing around. I don't consider myself a musician, but I like screwing around with sound. I've done a lot of like audio mixing and editing and experimenting over the years. Not enough to like be real pro at or anything, but it's a fun way to kill some time. Because I can't, like, art is still a thing that I do, as you can see here, for professional amusement. But because I also make a living at it, it's a little less free of issues. And sometimes I just want to break from it. So I have constructive means to procrastinate in other medium. Yes, Oscar? Do you want your bowl back? Oscar's gently brushing my shoulder, my elbow. Yeah. Okay, here. Here you go, buddy. Eat your foods. Last weekend, Ange and I went to Quebec City for 5 nights, 4 days. Stayed in a nice place up on the hill, just outside of the old city. It's America's only walled city, I believe. And North America's, I should say, not America's. It's Canada's, regionally, of course. I know that, but I meant to say North America. And I don't know if any U.S. cities ever had walls, or if they just lost them. They got rid of them. But it is one of the oldest cities in North America. We went on a ghost tour, which was really more of a sad, depressing history of Quebec City tour. And one of the stories that really struck me was, if this is true, how the first hangman of Quebec City was a guy who was going to be hung, and that was his choice, was either be hung or be the cursed man, outcast of the city, the hangman. Everyone loathed because he was deaf. And what it really was the man's enforcer, the powers that be, used him to enforce, through intimidation and murder, their will on the people. And it decimated his family. Like years later, he had to shame his own wife because she was found in possession of stolen goods, and one of their sons was charged for aiding. I believe was charged and convicted for aiding deserters, and then another son for being a thief or something like that. And ultimately, the hangman's replacement was his own son, which I'm not sure, maybe he died of old age, but if he didn't die of old age, if he got sick of doing his work, then that meant that his son's first job would have been to hang his father. What? Yeah. Crazy shit. So no wonder they kind of had a horrible, rough life. The powers that be kind of cursed them. Of course they're going to be seditious and turn against and have to seal and help deserters. Dude, that is not how you build community. That's some fucked up shit. And then we went to many places. We walked all over town, but we went to the Plains of Abraham, which is, you know, it's a major battle between the British and the French. And the British won. It's actually part of a series. It was a whole war, but it was a pivotal battle, and I believe it was the one which allowed the British to secure and hold on to Quebec City. Eventually they took the entire French colony from France, New France, took all of New France from France, and with the exception of 2 little islands for fishing just off the shore, which they still own. They're still French. But yeah, it's a very small battlefield. I was kind of surprised. It was a pretty short battle too, I guess, but it just, I think I've seen this before. I've been to other battlefields, but it's always striking how the scale of war changed over the centuries. Very relatively confined, at least that particular battle was anyway, and a lot of them, and they were sort of ritualized. Fun! What is that? It's a weird plant thing. And another special effects layer is going to be like pouring its guts out, the spores coming out of it. Ejecting. I'm kind of imagining these organ-like things to be billow-like. And so they've grown, they've developed pressure, and now they're exhausting that pressure as a way to power the spores out. Something like that. Hey you, you're not supposed to be eating that. That's Oscar's food. I'm going to have to give him more. Yep. I've done a couple of streams now on Facebook, and I'm curious to see. I think I'm going to do another one after this over there. It's not too late. To see which get more traction, because ultimately I have a significant, not nearly as many subscribers or followers or whatever on Facebook, but I have a significant group there, and I've just been offered the blue check of approval by Facebook, so I don't know if I'll get that, but it seems like I might be more established there. I have a lot of subscribers here, but as soon as I wasn't doing videos all the time, it feels like viewership has dropped off. Which I'm not surprised by, but I'm wondering if it's not worth doing more of these via the Facebook live stream instead. Current viewers absorbing these facts, 0. To my point. I should probably share this. How long have I been streaming? 25 minutes? We'll see. I think I won't because I want to actually test the two against each other. So I'm not going to use Facebook to promote this stream. Is that coming out from inside of? Yeah, I want to be inside of. Out of that. Oh, yeah, no. I don't like that. No, no, not that. Oh, close. I was talking to my mother today about my uncle who died recently. She's been packing up his apartment, going through his life. Sounds rough. In theory, we like all to resolve our own stuff and have it not be a problem for somebody else, but you seldom can entirely predict when you're going to die. So it's difficult to have these things sorted and ready. I have more stuff along that stock, but that works. This is weirdness, dude. I think I want to shrink it just a tad, though. I don't want it to actually touch this other illustration like that. There we go. Put some space in it. So now we can get rid of this chunk of doodles. There. Weirdness. So I think I'll make, well, let's do that there first. This come up and around and on this side, some over there. Yeah. Okay, it's coming up on 30 minutes for this video. I'll keep it a short one for the archive. If you want to catch me over on Facebook, there's a link in my description text, and I may, in fact, do some streaming over there right after this. But also, just I have other things there. And Instagram. And, you know, all of my other stuff. Patreon is a great way to check out my stuff again and support it. You can buy my books, print and digital, on Gumroad. Dracula, Son of the Dragon, is coming in October. Go check it out. If you haven't already gotten your pre-order in at your local comic shop, do that. It's from Dark Horse, Dracula, Son of the Dragon, with Mark Sable and me, Salgood Sam. Mark also has a new Kickstarter for a new project. You should go check out his Instagram and have a peek at that. And I will see you around the internet's all. Keep it doodling, and we'll see if I can't log in here a little more regular over the next month or two. We'll see. Definitely with the winter coming, I'll probably be streaming more, because that's how it goes. You're shut in, it's cold, lonely, in the north, and you need a little virtual company. But the room's empty. Damn it!